Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the VeeFriends Topps Chrome checklist, as well as Rokimoto moving on to bigger and better venues. And Thrilljoy is no longer making Mega Pix, quote unquote, for now. Can't wait to talk about that and some more stuff.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 131. I am Migs here with Charlie, and we are back with another episode. What's going on? Happy
Ready
May
to
the
talk
4th.
about VeeFriends. Oh yeah, we're recording this on May the 4th. Yes, but no special Star Wars episode. But gotta rep the Star Wars. But I'm pumped that VeeFriends Chrome is finally here.
Yep.
Which is going to be obviously what makes tease in the beginning a big thing we were going to talk about. So I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, definitely going to get into that. The checklist. We'll kind of run through like what cards are going to be in the base set, the inserts and stuff like that, just in case you guys don't know. I know we do have some new, listeners / subscribers, whatever, that might be from the VeeFriends side, and you might know. But our old school people probably don't know much about it. So it's going to be a little crash course in a little bit about this set that's coming out. It'll actually be coming out tonight, like midnight, technically tomorrow. A lot of people already have this from the pre-order, so definitely excited to get into that. We're also going to talk a little bit about Rokimoto. Rokimoto has a pretty crazy thing going on with their Dreams event, and we're going to get into what happened and how they made it right for the fans, because they are great. And then the opposite end of things with Thrilljoy in terms of they're no longer making picks and the Mega Pix, excuse me. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that. What do we think about that? And even some Funko news, because Funko is still in the news in regards to this limited card thing that they're going to do, or limited piece. I have cards in my mind now. So.
Yes, cards.
The limited pops that they're going to do, and kind of a list of what the May ones are. And I don't know, we'll give our thoughts and some other things, including with that. But like Charlie said, we're going to start off with the VeeFriends side of things, because that is what's kind of been in the forefront of both of our just collecting minds total, right? So last episode, we laughed about, how I've been getting super into it now and been on Whatnot streams left and right, and I'm getting
more and more
stuff all the time.
every week.
I'm even getting VeeFriends like figures. So I'll show this off real quick, but look at this little gorilla, bro.
Gratitude gorilla, baby. It's awesome.
And I also did get genuine giraffe for my daughter. Brooklyn, giraffe is her favorite animal. So I was like, perfect. So that's cool. So I was able to get that. But today we're going to talk about the cards. And we mentioned them last time. It's obviously their partnership with Topps. So it's a Topps Chrome set that they are going to be releasing officially on the 7th, like we said. So it's technically at midnight, but they're going to be doing like Whatnot streams, breaking stuff. So like
Gary's gonna at midnight.
Check them out, because it's going to be their first time like ripping open full boxes, like officially, even though they kind of tease some packs and stuff on some earlier streams. A lot of people have this already because they did pre-orders and they've been getting them soon, and like they got them pretty quick, and people are ripping them left and right. These things are going for crazy prices already.
It's insane,
which is wild, bro. This community is no joke, and if you're out there and you're one of them, like, power to you guys. But
even Gary was in one of these rips, and it's like, people don't pay that much money.
Yeah, it's so funny, because like it's like this community is like the actual definition of FOMO is what these people are. If something's out and it's like, oh, it's the first time no one has it, people go nuts. Like, they're paying $100 for a pack. It's like, come on. Like, I don't know, but whatever. Either way, we're going to get into the actual set, because I know you're just as excited. This box, of course, is going to have two types of boxes you're going to be able to get, which is the hobby set box and then the blaster boxes. The blaster boxes are going to be more retail. You're going to see those at like GameStops. Some local shops might have them. The hobby stuff will be strictly mostly on Topps, and then like some hobby shops as well. The prices might fluctuate. I don't know. You want to talk about a little bit about the prices, but they kind of change, actually.
It already has changed officially, which is kind of like I don't really know if there's a precedent for this, but I know we were saying how the beginning when you could pre-order the hobby boxes, they were $99, which that's a pretty amazing deal because you were getting 18 packs with 4 cards in it. And you know, there's been some comps that you could look at for Topps Chrome, and this was by far like such a good bang for your buck.
Yep.
But now for the final pre-order, pre-release on like launch day, it's going to be $139.99. So,
yeah,
you know, a little bit of an up, but that is more, I feel like, online. That's what I expected it to be when it first dropped. I'm just curious. I'm wondering what your opinion is. Was this always the plan? Did Topps see how crazy the first one sold, and they're like, okay, with these few extra ones, let's up it a little bit?
Yeah.
This stuff just this is like the one part of the game that I just don't really always like. But I mean, this is coming from Topps, so it is what it is. But now it's now made like those $99.99 ones are like, that'll never be a thing again at all.
Yeah, I mean, when that first came out, I remember, you know, this community pays wild prices for these things. They obviously, the first series of cards was like only given to specific people that had that like gift go NFT card, right? So it was like they were like top of the line. Those things that go for $400, $500, $600, $700 for a box. So like that community is already like, oh, these things are expensive. They're going to be this much. And then the series 2 boxes, I'm not exactly, what was the, do you know the retail of those were?
Well, they went to people who minted series 2 NFTs for free.
Okay.
So then they kind of, I mean, I was a little later in the game, but from what I've seen through my research, I mean, they just continuously went up in price, but VeeFriends set the price.
Yeah.
So they kind of did what they're very big on what the market is telling you, where Topps, as we were saying, this is different. And Gary's been very upfront about this. Like, he didn't, like, obviously they work together on a price, but at the end of the day, this is a product coming from Topps that is a license. VeeFriends is the license, where everything else, Series 1 and Series 2 cards, were 100%, you know, made by VeeFriends with their partnership with Fanatics, with Zero Cool.
Yeah, and he had said it. Yeah, they control the price. They control how many are made. Like all that kind of stuff was all controlled by them. So when he kept saying like it's gonna be crazy competitive, like just wait till you see this price, and he was saying it for the people that were like VeeFriends hardcore fans because they're so used to paying so much that maybe don't even know about Topps or know about like other trading cards, right? But then while he was saying that, us and the other community where we know about Topps and we purchase Topps stuff, like we're like, oh, the hobby box is going to be 140 or 150 because that's literally what, regardless of the sport, basically. That's pretty much like what a hobby box goes for. So when we saw that it was 99, like I remember being like, wow, 99 is an amazing price point. Like that's great for that many cards, and obviously they're going to be pretty top, like big top hits inside of these hobby boxes because they have the higher chances to pull stuff or guarantees. And then those obviously sold out through the EQL. I wasn't able to get any, which I was, you know, obviously pretty upset about that. But now the new one's coming out and they're at 140. Is that what they're?
Yeah, 139.99. Yeah, 140.
Yeah, so which is generally what it normally is. And then the blasters probably
they're $25.
Okay, 25.
Which that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. And those were not sold. Initially, it was just a hobby box, and you were able to get 2 max. Now they're doing the EQL again for launch day of the 7th. This is, I believe, at 11 in the morning is in East Coast that they're going to launch. And it's only 1 limited for hobby box. But then you can still get blasters, and it's 4 or 6. I forgot what the...
I thought it was 5, but I'll probably see if it says
random number I picked.
But
it was up there. It's like a,
and don't quote us on that number. But the difference between that is not EQL.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
just
just strictly going for sale, and then you go buy them. And then again, like I said, if you go to your local, on their site, they have where you can find where locally you're going to have options to buy these. And a lot of the GameStops that'll be local to you, or certain card shops, hobby shops, and stuff like that, you can find them on a map it's actually through VeeFriends'
VeeFriends, it's
site.
really legit.
Yeah, and it's like you can actually check all across the country, which is really cool because it gives you an idea of like, don't go to just a random place because they'll show you where they're going to be available.
And it even shows the GameStops. Like not all GameStops are getting
not
them.
every GameStop, exactly. So that's what's interesting too. It's not going widespread to every GameStop. It's only going to be specific ones. So make sure you check out. Like by me, there's one that's really close, and they're not going to have it. But then there's another one that's like still about the same distance, but the other way, and they will have it. So if anything, maybe I could try to grab them there.
And
but
one good thing to note about that is, I mean, I'm pretty sure GameStop can't really, they're not going to play with the price. Like they will be $25 at GameStop.
Yeah, they shouldn't. Yeah. And with blaster stuff, usually that's not, it's the hobby box, especially going to like because hobby boxes, you're not really buying them usually in retail. Like
Correct.
I don't think you can really find them at all in retail.
No.
So you're going to get those at like a card shop or some type of shop. And essentially they can price it whatever they want. It's always been like that. And it's just kind of the way it is. If you're not getting it from Topps essentially, or from Fanatics or whoever it might be that you end up getting them from, that's the only way you're going to really pay for sure retail. But either way, like the retail went up. So now, hopefully that doesn't mean that these other people are going to price them at like 200 and stuff. Cause that's just going to be, too much.
It's too much. But I'm curious, like, which obviously I feel like it's been part of the thing with this first Topps release, is like some people don't know what VeeFriends is. Gary's kind of being like, VeeFriends is big, like it's going to be big. Trust me, I have a fan base, yada, yada. But I'm curious if some of these hobby shops, like the one by me that I know I'm going to go check out, prices are ridiculous. But part of me is like, are they just going to charge for, if they don't know it, let's just say they don't know what VeeFriends is, are they just going to put it at the price that Topps tells them to put at because like they don't know what the market is?
Yeah.
I'm like very interested to see that, because if it was Pokemon cards, for example, they already know immediately we're like triple at the price.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, it will be. So we'll have to see. But it is an interesting take, like you said. Like I do think Topps priced it at the price that they did because they didn't know how this was going to do. Gary kind of said that as well. Like they didn't know what to expect. Obviously, it's completely different to them, and it's the first time. Obviously, they're going to have more Topps versions going forward. But now we know it's going to be priced, pretty much normal like other stuff. But once they saw that, it's probably like, okay, you know what, we can get this normal value because these things sold out and it was popular. So, like, for sure, it's going to be like that going forward. So, good luck if you're trying to get it.
Yes,
obviously, I'm going to try to get the EQL as well. I hope, according to EQL, like if you missed on a previous thing, you have a better shot the next time. But I know we'll see. Hopefully, that's true.
Curious how many of these there are. I feel like there's not that many.
Probably not, especially if the limit's only one. Like they've obviously already sent out a bunch. So I don't know. We'll see, because no one knows the actual numbers of how many of these there are. But we did want to run through kind of the checklist just to talk about a little bit with what's going to be in this set and kind of what to expect. So if you're not familiar with VeeFriends, we've talked about it here and there, and we kind of said a little bit more last week on like, obviously it's these characters, it's his own intellectual property that he created, but it's kind of like a Pokemon type thing. It's like a mixture of that with Sesame Street because of the whole kid aspect, and it's got to do with a lot of
all the characters teach you like a lesson.
Exactly, like
that's
lessons
where the Sesame
and like
Street
things like
in.
To be a better person, essentially, right? So that's what's really cool about it. But there's total of like three normally, like how many characters?
251 plus characters.
Yeah, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But this set's gonna have 100, correct?
Correct.
So they took like only 100 of those to be on it, which obviously there's another Topps Chrome Part 2 later.
Which exactly.
Maybe we'll get different characters,
Which is what is going to happen. So like they've said it without saying it, but we know we're going to get more Topps Chrome because they're, I think they said it's a 3-year contract.
Oh, okay, cool.
So the next set is going to have, because funny, my favorite character is the Passionate Parrot, and I joke like, it's not in this series. And they're like, oh don't worry. It's not in it. But they're like, you'll see it in Topps, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to have to get their other ones back.
So it won't repeat like the next time. We're probably going to get different ones. Because one thing that's interesting is, too, all of the base cards say first Topps Chrome, like for the character.
Which
Which
cool.
means if they're repeated again, like
it just won't say
it's kind of like
a
rookie card. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, so this obviously there's 18 packs, 4 cards per pack every time you pull. Each box of the hobby boxes is going to be guaranteed 3 numbered parallels or short print cards, refractors, exclusive like sapphire, rare autographs, like stuff like that, and inserts obviously all mixed in. So the base set, like we were saying, there's 100 cards in the base set. So you're going to get basically, it is chrome, so it's nice and shiny regardless, but you're going to get a version of a ton of these characters.
Yeah.
And do you want to run through the characters? I mean, there's a ton, but
yeah, I mean, I can run through them. So we're getting the 555 fam, dynamic dinosaur, the very, very, very lucky black cow, which that is going to be a really cool card because that's like the grail. It's the mascot of VeeFriends for people who aren't aware. That card is really, really, really hard to get in the other series. So it's looking like, people will probably have their chance to get the first black cat. We have the Focus Falcon, Eager Eagle, Adaptable Alien, Fearless Fairy, the Heart Trooper, Empathy Elephant, Gracious Grizzly Bear, Ambitious Angel, Patient Pig, Perfect Persian Cat, Decisive Duck, Common Sense Cow, Entrepreneur Elf, Humble Hedgehog, Creative Crab, Accountable Anteater, Authentic Anaconda, Karma Kiwi, Chill Chinchilla, Balanced Beetle, Notorious Ninja, which that's interesting because the Notorious Ninja card is going to be like the only base character that doesn't say First Chrome because that was the card that was given out at New York Comic Con. It is a different pose and it's completely different card.
Actual first Chrome card.
Yeah. Which, fun fact, Gary has said the reason he picked the Notorious Ninja is because he felt like that was a good character that went with like the New York Comic Con crowd.
Oh, really?
Which I always found it because I thought it was interesting. That's the character they picked, even though it is a cool character. The Forthright Flamingo, the Alpha Alligator, the Logical Lion, the Alert Ape, Skilled Skeleton, Selfless Sloth, Dialed In Dog, Slain Slug, Kind Kudu. When you live for their validation, you ain't living. Innovative Impala, Gutsy Gecko, Generous Gerbil. Dude, I'm not even halfway through.
I know. I just realized, and there's more characters in this, which is crazy.
We don't need to run through 100. It's basically, so we got 100 of these characters. Those a little bit of taste of them.
Yeah,
as you can see, most of the characters are like alliteration, and all just really cool designs. I think the art in these, like, I love Series 2 cards, but these, they just look so cool. And I feel like they picked the characters that at this point they think have the most potential or would be the most popular. I mean, it's very strategic, even down to the characters that are featured on the box. Gary has said, I mean, this was all very strategically done. So
yeah. Oh yeah, for like people that don't know about VeeFriends, you could tell they're kind of pulling you in with some of these characters, nice colors, a good mix. But I also see the fact of like the VeeFriends, hardcore VeeFriends people, how they pick people that are characters that obviously people like, some favorites, but they purposely definitely kept out other big favorites to kind of get people still wanting and waiting for that next set or whatever.
100%.
So yeah, they definitely did that in a smart way. Then there's like a ton of inserts. So the inserts, we're gonna run through real quick. So basically, I love this because he's a huge sports fanatic.
Yeah.
So he kind of took a lot of that old sports card tops type of thing and that vibe into some of these inserts. So like the first one is Topps 1975. So basically, 25 of those original 100 is going to have a version where they can be a 1975 look to it. So it looks like an old baseball card, basically. And those characters will be in that insert. So that's really cool. So we have that. Then we have a sketch to screen insert, which there's only 12 of these. So even more limited. These obviously are showing, I believe this is the one where you see some of the drawing and then you see the actual character, right? It's like two.
Yeah, you see the characters of the ones that are in the show, like the Moonbug show.
Yeah, which only not every character is in the show, obviously.
Exactly.
So you get like the ones that are in the show. This one I think is super cool. It's the manga one. This is a manga speckle. It's called. This basically is every card in the set. So the
They're
whole
all getting
100,
them.
they have a version that you can pull of a manga one. So obviously you got the like a little bit brighter colors. The background looks very like comic splash, in your face kind of thing.
They're cool.
So those are going to be really cool, and it's literally one of each one of those. Then we got sorry, I went too far. Oh, the Erupt. This is actually like the most rarest, like hardest ones is going to be to find. There's only 10 in this set. Got the elephant, cow, ape, cowboy, cat, honey badger, firefly, cockatoo, tiger, and a puma. And then these are the ones that are going to be, they're one of ones, right?
And and 2 have already been pulled.
Yeah, one of ones
by the NFT holders.
And we've seen people have Genny's boxes and have already pulled. Yeah, the Puma,
the fly, the
right?
Puma and the fly firefly have been pulled.
And the firefly. So
which is crazy.
There's only 8 more out there in the world, which is so even crazier, right? So now it's going to be nuts to get those. We got VeeFriends Y2K, which there's 10 in this set. What is this one exactly? Because I think maybe you would know more.
This is I think an homage to just kind of like the early 2000 looks of cards. Yeah.
Okay, so he went with like another like time period with that. We have Game On again. 10 cards in this set. Another one.
Which these are sweet though. Did you see one of these get pulled in one of the streams we were watching the other night or no?
I'm not sure. Maybe
they are. I don't think this was said before it got pulled. They are super thick. It's if you pull this, it's the only card in the pack.
Oh wow!
It's really thick. I was shocked.
Like with some of those sports cards that you get, like memorabilia,
and it looks like a Game Boy.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, so yeah, he's doing a lot of crazy inserts. Yeah. Then we got Iconics, which this one is 20.
Yeah, and these look for people that aren't aware, like this looks like a set of the iconic NFTs.
Okay,
they're kind of like I don't really know how to explain the picture, but it's more of the face of the characters, and they're all like it looks like a piece of art, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing those. It was like like those windows in a church,
exactly.
Right? Like that, dead glass. Then we have where was that one? Iconics. And then we have the sketch cards, which there's a gigantic list. But this is all these people that are. I'm assuming some of them are like fans or NFT holders, right, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's like a mixture of different people that people
who work there.
That they got to make a sketch.
Influencers,
maybe even like somebody. I was gonna say celebrities and influencers and stuff to make some type of drawing. Oh god,
boo!
Drawing sketch, and it's literally like a drawing essentially, and it's gonna be put on a card. So, and those of course are just one of ones because it's whoever that is makes a sketch. So that's like the main insert stuff. Obviously, there's also going to be mixed in autographs.
Yeah, the Entrepreneur Elves, for whatever reason, on this list reading is not on there. That's another big
that's going to be like the Entrepreneur Elf ones, which there's going to be like celebrity, famous, big entrepreneurs that Gary really looks up to and like respects. Kevin Hart is one of them. Like a bunch
of
Damon
John from Shark Tank, and the auto's already been pulled.
Oh, that one was? Wow. Okay. So it's going to be, and there's actually, I think, a mix of them without autos.
Correct.
Like their card, and then there's auto versions, obviously. So there's like a ton of different ones, but ultimately, it's a lot. It's going to be fun. It's exciting. Seeing stuff already being pulled and stuff is going for crazy prices already. So, like, if you get your hands on these, this is going to be a great, fun set. I know both of us being like really big fans now and really getting into the characters and collecting, all of them as much as we can. This is like just another version of getting those cool characters. And like, if we can pull some of those crazy rare ones, like that's awesome. But even just getting some of these cards is going to be awesome just to see them in a new version than just like the Series 2.
And there's also obviously tons of different parallels, different colors, like, you know, and the yellow parallels are exclusive only to the blasters.
Blaster box,
which like I actually really like those, and they kind of give me a feel like it's an homage to the Series 2 cards. I don't know if that's just in my head or that is on purpose.
I mean, they're yellow, most the base at least. So
yeah, it was kind of cool. And even another Easter egg that has been now found out based off of some polls is the very, very, very lucky black cat. There's different variations where they change the color of its eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this set, I know we just went through a bunch of it, but like it is so ridiculous in a great way, creative, all over the place, so many different things to pull. It's really cool.
Yeah. And then there's even, I think there's an I don't know if it's another insert or something or parallel. One of the ones that has like it's like certain little blurb writing or whatever on the back. And I know I heard like a lot of them, like Rips wrote a lot of like the little things
Yep.
on some of them
Well,
and stuff.
the base cards all on the back have what the series NFT one looked like, and like stuff about the
Like a
card.
little drawing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like honestly the back of the card could be another card.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of cool because
Yeah, there's a lot of detail and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of detail
into this. So yeah, you can tell they put a lot into this. So it's going to be a really good set. It's already becoming super popular. So hopefully we'll see how it sells, like actually in stores and stuff, and how much they really print of this. Because if they do a lot of it, you know, maybe we'll see it around, or will this just be something that's going to be really hard to get, which makes it even more valuable. So it's going to be definitely an interesting one, for sure. But I did want to mention one other thing on VeeFriends because we didn't even talk about this beforehand, but I did want to talk about it. Was the comic? The comic released last week. So for those of you who don't know, they make so much things, but they do comic books, and there is a first version, the first issue that came out a while back. And that one, the same kind of thing, right? It was only given out to
only the gift code holders got
it.
The
do
gift
a lot of
code
that stuff,
NFT is like the NFT to have, Series 1. And yeah, there's 555 of them, and that's how many comic books were made. They all
but they gave it to you in a slab, right?
Came into a slab graded. It's super sick.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the FOMO for me for that is real, because like one thing that's cool is you can just go read the comic book on VeeFriendsComics.com if you wanted to, but like that's it. Like that's the only way you could have gotten that comic book, and you're never getting that unless you want to spend thousands of dollars, which is just insane.
So now they came out with a second issue, and it's a mini like comic, like digest style, like smaller.
Yeah, in a mystery bag.
Yeah, not as big as the other one. It comes in a bag because when you rip it, there's going to be different variants that you can pull of the cover. There's the just standard base. Then there is like a crazy colorful foil like style, which I believe is out of 99. Then there's like a blank sheet one, which is cool to get artists to draw on. And if you go to cons and stuff, I think that one's like out of 50 or something. Then there's like a red like foil and gold foil, which are like 25 and 10. So like those are obviously the more rare ones, but that like super crazy colored one is like definitely the sickest one looking one. That's like 99. So those came out on Whatnot. They dropped them last week. For the first time, they sold out in 10 seconds.
I haven't seen since. I mean, as everyone knows, I mean, I've been in the VeeFriends fandom like a little bit longer than Migs, and I haven't seen anything. I mean, stuff sells out quick, but I haven't seen anything sell out like that. And it was a decent amount. It was 1,000.
Yeah, they sold 1,000. There was 20. They were originally $30, right? And you put them for 25. Or were they 25? You put them for
25 and put them for 20.
25, you put them for 20 on that. They didn't actually officially launch till like the next day.
Yeah.
So that first day, you put up 1,000. I think they only have a total of
3,000. Yeah.
3,000 total issues. He put up 1,000. And then we were on, and it was the craziest thing ever. If you ever use Whatnot, like, you know that when you buy something, it shows up at the bottom and you swipe to like pay or bid or whatever. This thing, like, you could tell me if it's the same for you, but like when I went, it was like, all right, here they go, boom. I swiped, and it was just like stuck
spinning
on the swipe.
Yep, I've never seen that.
Names are popping up like this person purchased.
I thought I didn't
and the numbers are going. Excuse me, the numbers are going down. How many are left? And I'm like, what is going on? Because it was just sitting there, but it never said that mine went through. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck's going on? What the heck's going on? And then all of a sudden, I get the alert at the top because I have my Whatnot connected to my PayPal. So I got like the PayPal alert that was like, your payment went through. And but it was still like frozen, like stuck there. And I'm like, I guess I got one.
I never felt defeat in a VeeFriends stream like I almost did in that
one. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And then I remember saying to you, and I was like, I got one. And then you were like, I didn't think I was gonna get one. You were saying the same thing, and I was like, this is crazy. And as I'm talking and it's still popping up, another alert comes on the top, and it's like for another amount, and it was like $2 difference, and I'm like, what the heck is that? So then once it finished, they're like, oh, it's sold out. It was literally seconds. I go into the activity to see like what purchases went through, and somehow I got two, which I wanted like double, but I didn't choose to. I don't know how
So
it went
weird.
through, but I got two, and the reason why it was a little difference in price is because your shipping goes down when you have like
Which is
multiple
cool.
things. But yeah, I was so confused, but I'm happy because when those come in, we're definitely gonna rip those. Your household has two, so you also have
Yes.
two.
My household likes VeeFriends too. My wife is it's just funny because my wife is by no means a collector. She always appeases me, which I appreciate, but she like even likes VeeFriends, which I think shows the power of like why this IP, in my opinion, is like unique and different. And like even my, a lot of this stuff is expensive, so I haven't been able to get my son into as much as I would like to. But there's things here that like you showed the figures,
Mhm.
I've given him some extra cards. One thing I wanted to talk about too, which is a little crazy with this whole Topps Chrome hype. One of the main reasons I think Gary was super happy about this for, obviously many reasons, but one was like this was going to be his entry for kids to like collect the cards because they were going to be super affordable, which on paper they are. But like some people were actually complaining about this on Twitter because it's funny. Another thing, the VeeFriends community is like really into like Twitter. I kind of stopped using Twitter and now I use it again just to like look at VeeFriends stuff. And some people were kind of coming at Gary for that. Basically, like the whole point of this product is like no longer a thing. People
Yeah.
on these streams buying a pack for $100 when the packs are supposed to be less than $5.
Yeah, and I
It's
mean,
crazy.
but like you said, he's been on the streams and
Yeah,
stuff, being
there's
like,
nothing.
don't, but he can't do anything about it, and it's just,
People are going
the
to
way.
pay what they're going to pay.
Like people are shocked when they get to the prices, like whoa, 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 but people do it. It's just like, all right, whatever.
Well, what's also crazy too, me and Nikki were actually talking about this, and obviously now that you've gotten into it, like at this point, Series 2 cards have been around for like 3 to 4 years. I'm assuming this is what that was like when those first came out. We're now able to get like build our sets for like $1 to $2 cards because like the hardcore OG sweaties have them all.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm envisioning that's probably what's going to happen with this.
Yeah,
But in the beginning, it's just like insanity.
yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, like I showed you those whatnot auction last night. A kid ripped a box, and towards the end, he gave away 10 like base Chrome cards as a giveaway.
Which is
10.
what it should
And I was like,
be.
oh, and it
That's
was
what
just
Gary
obviously just random
envisions
cards.
it being.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be there. But yeah,
Where
right
some
now
people were bidding.
hype is
Dude,
crazy.
some people were paying like $30 for one base card, $50. Then I'm like, in a few weeks, you can probably get that one for $1.
Yeah. No, it still is crazy. And I mean, it's funny you said about the series too, because that still is crazy though. Like when it comes to the packs.
Yes.
Like I was just on one earlier today where they were putting up packs, individual packs, which have 4 cards, and they were all going for $40, $50, $60 minimum. And then you know that in a box, you're guaranteed like 2 to 3 like rare.
Exactly.
So only one rare was pulled. And then it got down to the last 2 packs. So they knew at least one of them had a rare.
People are going nuts.
Maybe both. So he sold them together and they went for $150 for 2 packs. And each one did have a rare, which is funny. But they were like,
not
regular
ones
rare. It wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So it's just
gambling,
nuts.
like it's just funny. I used to think people were nuts with like quote unquote gambling in the Funko NFT world. This brings it to a whole new level.
Not even close, yeah.
Like not even close. People are still chasing these ones cards. I almost at one point I'm like, it's just the way my brain works. Yeah, I don't want to spend X amount of money for a card to finish my set, but I'd rather at that point we even say this now about the Funko NFTs. I'd rather just buy the card and keep chasing these like $50 packs.
Not knowing what you're doing, yeah. But
it's wild. It's fun.
It's how the crazy FOMO is. But
I also love like a month ago. I'm pumped how much you're into VeeFriends now because it's great.
It's sort of been like the only thing I've purchased as of lately. But yeah, So that's gonna be exciting. VeeFriends, good luck if you're trying to grab some, and if you are, hopefully you get some good stuff when you rip it. We'll move on to Rokimoto. So the Rokimoto news is an interesting one. So Rokimoto, obviously, they announced they were going to have an event for Comic Con. You know, we
Yes.
laughed about it, we joked about it, we put up memes. Mike has commented on our stuff, like he's totally on board with us. But that Dreams event is obviously an event they're going to put on. Clearly, they're going to probably have like new figures or new things, maybe some awesome, cool giveaways. They had a reel with a glow in the dark Leo. Like, is that, fit into
Yeah.
the Dreams? Like, maybe they're going to give away glow in the dark versions or come out with them, whatever it is. So, ultimately, it's going to be a pretty sweet event. So, the sale for the tickets had gone up and they overshot their
Yeah.
number. Like, I don't know exactly what actually happened in the
I
sense of
think it
like
was by mistake.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what it
Yeah.
was that like didn't limit what they were supposed to do, and it just continued to let people to buy. Obviously, charge people like actually for tickets, but
Yep.
they didn't have them in the sense of like they only had a certain amount that they were going to do based off of where they were going, where the event was going to be, and how many people they could fit. Essentially, was limited to that number. But they overshot that. They sold what was like 1,000 more. I think they said.
I
It was
think
like
so.
some crazy, it was like a pretty crazy number. Like they
Yeah.
overdid or whatever. And this is what we love and respect about obviously Mike specifically, but the company and everyone that's involved in this company. And we continue to always give them their flowers because they do these things and they do it right. And this is why
100%.
we respect them and what they did. I don't think a lot of other people would have done. I
None
don't
of
know if anyone has ever done that, but
Yeah.
basically what they did is they said, okay, you know what? This many people bought these tickets. We only have room for this. What we're going to do is you're still going to be able to go. You still got this ticket. We're going to move the event to fit this many people that got it so that we can still run it. Now it's even a bigger, better event in a new, it's still going to be in San Diego, but it's in like another hotel
No,
or
another
like
venue.
room. And it now fits everyone that got it. So everyone still gets their chance. And it's like just the fact that they did that is like awesome because it's like a lot of other people would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We can only fit this many people. We'll give you your money back or you'll get a credit for this or something else they would have thought of." Instead, they're like, "No, we're going to just find a new place and everyone that really wants to go is going to be able to go." And I love it.
It's amazing. It's like you said, that's why we love filmmaker Mike. That's why we love Rokimoto, that entire brand that he's built. It's just wild to me because, yeah, I think I know people don't want to call certain other companies competitors, but in our world they are, and I don't think any other company would have done it. I think they would have refunded the people and said sorry. Where Mike knows how to build a community, he knows what the people want. I mean, that would have been such a sour. Like other big companies have done some things that made sour tastes in their fans' mouths at the early stages of their company. I actually think that would have been a recipe for disaster for them, and they knew what to do. I love them more and more every day, and it's just funny because when their first big announcement came, I know, in my opinion, just from reading through the comments, it was really like, I don't know if I like this. I think at this point, like, it's won over a lot of people who were skeptical.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what shows you how great he is and the team that he has and like how they're doing things, like the proof of why that is good is that I do still think not everyone probably loves the specific figure
Product.
per
Yep.
se, right? Because maybe it's not for them or maybe they just haven't got it in their hands and they're just not like super sold on it. But people are becoming more willing to look at these things, buy these things, and check them out because of what they are doing as a company and what message they're sending and how fun they're like portraying everything to be of their company. and they're doing it. So we've said it before, like their social media is great. They're fun and funny, and they're creative, and they're doing things, and they're getting other cultures involved and other people, and like it's just been such a mix of stuff, but it all stems from like fun, having fun and making fun, and like it's just like the Fun Maker Inc., which obviously was from the
Yeah.
very beginning when we saw this company. We're like, what is this going to be? It's just him and Dave in an office, and like, what the hell are they going to do? Like, they literally are just doing stuff that is fun and proving that
Yeah.
they
And
want
they're
fans to love this and their families and everything to have like fun.
and even like the little things, like I've gone in my son into these, and like I posted a video of him opening it. He was super excited. I've talked about this before. Like he loves axolotls. Like I was so pumped when I saw that being a character. Mike commented on the post and was like, "This dude is the fun maker of the week." And like, like who does that stuff?
Yeah, I know. It's
And
awesome.
he's like we said, like he is the creator of the company. It's not some fake person behind us, like basically trying to, talk for the company. I just like it's just those little things like that that make fans love him even more. And it's crazy. I know we've said this multiple times on the podcast. It's just like sad to see his ending at Funko, but it is amazing to see him rejuvenated, and like it is just I think he's better than ever.
Yeah. No, yeah, you can tell he's like loving everything he does. But like I think a huge part of that is like who he has surrounded himself
You're right.
with.
His team is amazing.
He has an amazing team. They're all on the same like page. They're doing everything. You could just tell that everything that they're coming out with is thought out and done the right way. And other companies have not done that. You could tell they were just rushed to do something, put something out, isn't the best, switch it up a little bit, and it's like more confusing, and it's like so back and forth. And it's a lot of companies that do this. We're not just specifically talking about one. So like they just are doing things right. And
it's
that's
all
why I
high
said
quality.
no matter what products they come out with, it's still going to be exciting and get us like wanting to figure out like what is this? Well, let me check this out. Like I think I need to have this, and that's kind of what's been going on. So yeah, the event is going to be exciting. Unfortunately, obviously we can't go.
I know it stinks, but
out in San Diego, but hoping they do something just as big and nice over in New York, because that will be something that we definitely will make sure we're a part of, because at New York Comic Con we're going to definitely be there.
That would be my number one event to have to go to.
Oh yeah, 100%. So that's going to be pretty sweet to see. But yeah, coming up, it's still a few months away, but we'll get more information on kind of what's going on, and obviously the new waves and stuff. Once that stuff rolls out for Rokimoto, we'll definitely be on board to check that stuff out as well. But we'll switch gears to another new company, a little older than Rokimoto, but it's Thrilljoy. And of course, here we talk about Thrilljoy all the time, ups and downs. We were all super on board. Then it kind of just got a little stale. Things weren't going the right way. They announced these like new products that got us more exciting again. We got back into like smaller things that make more sense. But it's been a little slow. And unfortunately, I feel like ultimately a lot of this is stemming from something that they can't control.
Agreed.
And it's not necessarily like their fault. Like they're just failing. It's, a lot of it has to do with this tariff thing, right? And like all these products are coming from overseas and stuff. Like the difference between like a Rokimoto, if I just had to guess based off of their products, they're probably a lot cheaper to make.
Yes.
So the quality and all the stuff that Brian at Thrilljoy decided to put into his products was great. But now they're kind of seeing how like if the economy, if shipping stuff, tariffs, all that kind of things becomes a thing, it's harder for them. So that's why we had a conversation in an episode where we talked about like the super plastics of the world, these higher end brands that just can't really survive with those prices and stuff. And that's kind of like what's happening with Thrilljoy. So one, the products have always been slowing down. We're not getting all those new announcements. None of that. We only got that one blue, the California blue, and then the one that was at the convention, and that was it. So we haven't gotten any other ones yet. But the biggest thing and the biggest announcement that was just made was that they're ceasing like to make Mega Pix. So they're basically going to be getting rid of Mega Pix for now, is what they're saying. It obviously is stemming around the prices. We know these are definitely well done figures, which you actually have one.
I have one. Yep, okay. I do, and they are great. Like the price is actually too good to be true.
Yeah, they're very, very good. They're big in size. They have a lot of features and details, and like the hands and the magnetic and all that stuff is clearly pricey. The box is obviously a high end box, so everything is high end. So price wise, it's going to be expensive to make. And now when things are going up, they're not going to just charge us $250, $300 for these now to try to still make money. So I kind of see why,
which I appreciate actually.
Yeah. Like thankfully they're not doing that, which they kind of did that first time with the Freddy one, because they did raise the price because of issues and things, whatever. And I mean, maybe they didn't think, anything of it, because then they were able to bring it back down. All right, back down to the normal price.
But the backlash wasn't good for them for that.
No, it wasn't. But they clearly, probably because of that, realize we can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't just now make these triple the price. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So instead, they're just not going to make them, and they're going to put a hold on it, which is unfortunate because I think that was one of their better products. Even though it was big and like we weren't going to get a ton of them, I'd like that version, especially when it was the non-blue ones, which we still have never gotten.
I know.
So now I'll let you chime in real quick, but now it makes you think like two things. One, obviously they're holding those, so now we're not going to get a lot of those non-blue versions, at least for the near future. And two, we still don't have the smaller ones, the picks, or the little ones. But one of the big things about the little ones was that if you pulled that special one, gold or whatever, they would send you a free Mega Pix. But if they're not making them, does that mean they're not going to send those now? Or does that mean we're not even going to get those minis now because they can't send the Mega Pix?
I'm so happy we're talking about this. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's unfortunate, and I'm happy. I mean, you started off by saying like this is out of their control, and I'm not going to like be negative towards it because for me, I'm upset about it. It's really unfortunate, and I don't know if it's some sort of sign telling them like this company's not going to work, which I don't want to say, but just nothing has really seemed to go their way.
Only catching thing a break, that's for sure.
I mean, and before you know it, the company's going to have been around. I mean, I don't want to rush the time, but it'll be around for a year. And it's just super upsetting. Even like I still will call, since Thrilljoy's existed, the king of the cons, because even after WonderCon, like the hype was so there again, but then it just dies.
It did it again.
It happened 2 times in a row, and it's just I'm like upset about it. It's all I really like. I'm at a loss of words because the Mega Pix, I think, was always going to be that product that, even though niche, was going to set them apart. And now these mystery minis, like you said, like that was like one of the big, like, not gimmicks, but like people were going to buy more. I know how it works. Like they were going to chase for that. And now you're right. Like, will we not get it? We also haven't, like, I thought we would hear more. Like, we don't get any updates from Thrilljoy on their socials. Speaking of socials, like, it's just like, oh my God, the company went away. It's just, it's.
Or some, like, back to, like, the drop of the Pix panoramics, and they're just doing some, like, quirky video with, like, some influencer or somebody, whatever.
I wish they kind of leaned into what Mike does with his characters, but like Blue
like
hasn't
make the characters relatable and make us like them.
There's no we don't really Brian has said like Blue is the king of, he thinks he's the king of pop culture, but we don't like know anything really about Blue. They haven't gone that route of making any creative that way, where like the videos Mike and team make for all of the Rokimoto characters that we know so far are so cool. They're so unique. I mean, we used to get some of that kind of stuff from Funko, but like I don't want to compare them because like that is just such a different beast, and we already know Freddy and whatnot, and now his companions. But that's like another thing there's nothing that's keeping me excited about Thrilljoy. There could be no products, but there could be this cool video about Blue. And Brian even had teased that he was going to have friends.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe San Diego Comic-Con is going to be different, but I'm curious now if San Diego Comic-Con is F because of all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you said that about, I didn't even think about that. Like, that character doesn't exist. It's just that figure. Like, it's the face, like the mascot. You see the bust and whatever, and then you see the figure, and that's it. We didn't get, like, obviously they had a huge version of it at the New York Comic Con, but there wasn't like a person in an outfit. There's never been a video with like a character in animated form or any type of form where it's like, okay, that's the character. He has, like, we know about him. We know what he likes, what he doesn't like, how he acts. Like, that is a huge part of these type of collectible companies, because if you're gonna have a mascot, you're gonna have a person, like, they gotta have something that we can like relate to or like. And like you said, Funko still does do stuff with Freddy, not all the time, but like there's videos out there and there's little things that they do. And then when they announced Franny, like she was in some type of animated form where they announced her and Proto and stuff. And it's like, it is interesting that they haven't done that.
Even Mischief Toys does it, just to throw out some,
of
like,
course.
And they're a small company. Like
Rokimoto does it perfectly. We've said it before. Like,
they do.
The way they do it is spot on, and I think that is literally why I was saying, like, it's still drawing people and getting people excited, regardless if you get the figures or not. Because there's something, there's a story, there's something that we can like tie on to. And with Thrilljoy, it just became more like just a product, which is fine. Like, you could still just sell a product, but if you're not coming out with new stuff, you're not selling everything you said because it's delayed or it's not whatever. We need something to kind of keep the excitement, and it can't be a video talking about a product that was announced 4 months ago, 5 months ago, that's been out because it's not selling, and you're trying to like push it, or a random sale or mystery box that they came out with and things like that just to push product. That's not the way. But it's just sad because I totally agree. Brian, we love Brian. Like, Brian is one of the ones we've always talked about being a huge fan of him. That's why we were so excited when this was announced and when Brian was tied to this and like everything. So like, we want him to succeed, but it does seem like I said, they're not catching a break. A lot of stuff is happening and it's tough. Maybe it's just a way the cookie crumbled for them, but it's just unfortunate because there is a lot of cool stuff in that company and in those announcements and some of the ones that they've talked about, but we're just not getting it in our hands, and it's not being like given to us in any type of exciting way, I feel like. But like you said, San Diego Comic-Con obviously is right around the corner, and they have killed conventions and they put great booths and they put cool stuff together, but like, are we going to get product? And now that they're not even making Mega Pix, it's just wild. That hasn't even been to think that it hasn't been a year. Yeah, we're almost at a year, but it hasn't been a year. And one of your main things, you only made 4, I think of, and now you're stopping and you can't make it anymore. And even though I know we're not saying it's your fault, because clearly what's happening is, it's tough, but like, you should have pivoted a different way than I feel like they did. I don't know. It's just tough. And like, we're not bashing Thrilljoy. I feel
I want the new product.
I want them to be better.
And one thing that just kind of, like I said, I want the new product. We were so pumped about Pixel, the new Pix.
Those
part of me, though, another unfortunate issue was, I think, which we all know at this point, this wasn't the original plan. We give Brian props and team for pivoting, coming up with a new vision and evolving. But I actually think they kind of jumped the gun and announced all this at the con to save face when they weren't ready to do it, which is ironic because that's kind of what happened with the launch of the company.
Exactly what it
was. They weren't
ready
to for
megas and stuff.
And so now it's happening again, and it's just like, we were back on that Thrilljoy bandwagon, and now we're getting not sour, but it's just like, what's going on? And like, not to keep talking like once again about Rokimoto, like this is the only company I think about now. I'm excited for their new product because once again, their marketing is just so good. It's so good.
Very different, but hopefully something works out. I mean, let us know what you guys think. And where you think. Like,
and July's only
there's a lot of
away.
Thrilljoy fans out there. We have a lot of fans that watch us and listen to us that are big Thrilljoy supporters, and like, give us your take. What do you think about this situation? Because it's a tough one. Like what he said, like this is just something that we don't want to have to talk about, but it's what's happening, and it's just unfortunate. But hopefully, there's a change going forward at some point. They can figure this out, because it would be wild if they just suddenly start crumbling. Like, it hasn't been a year, so they got to be able to try to figure this out. Hopefully, we'll see. But best of luck to them, and going forward. But let's move on to Funko. We have one last topic we wanted to talk about, and it is Funko related. This one will be pretty fun. Huh? And this is the limited grails and stuff, right? So we talked about this before, and they announced that they were going to do this whole new exclusive thing, and as part of the fan rewards, you were going to have these special price points and special piece counts, and like, it was going to be so awesome. So they said, but we already didn't like that aspect. We didn't like that you had to pay certain prices for a certain piece count, and that was before we knew like some stuff that was going to come out. It could have been a freaking amazing pop, and I still would have kind of been like, I don't know if I would want to do this, but that looks pretty cool. And then we get the announcement of what's coming out in May to kind of start this. And I will be honest, it's trash. I mean, this is just what I think.
Yep.
Then again, there's fans out there in the anime world that might like Demon Slayer, and probably this is like a badass pop. There's fans of Thundercats and that old school stuff, and Mumra, and like, maybe you wanted Mumra to be Blacklight, and that's what you've been waiting for all these years, and now you're gonna get it. Or this is just honestly trash all around, and we're not the only ones that think it. Initially, what are your thoughts of at least this lineup, and then we'll kind of go into like some of the details of what the deal is.
I think this lineup is, like you said, absolute trash. The only one that has any, positives, I do think, is the Demon Slayer for that fan base. But even then, like, I don't know how crazy, and let me know in the comments too, because me and Migs aren't big anime people. I don't even know if people go crazy for those pops like they used to a few years ago.
Yeah.
I just even like like the Mumra one.
So weird.
That it's just so funny now too, for being such big fans of like Brian. That's like a Brian IP in a weird way. Like, I know that was like important to him. And like, now that Brian's not here anymore, I feel like they need to, like, even Mike, there's certain things they should probably scrub through and be like, that was the old Funko. Like, I don't know how, I know there's fans of all of these things, but it just like, when your top 3 or 4 ones that you announce, and that's the one that's coming out, and then the strawberry shortcake one,
and that's the grail.
like, once again, no hate on anyone who collects that, but when you're coming up with some of these things, it should be as mainstream / like, and when I say niche, like, once again, I don't know Demon Slayer, so maybe this is a character that doesn't have a pop yet, or it's a popular, more niche one from the show. That's more things that I think they should be going for. Just these, and then the cinnamon roll one or whatever. Like,
yeah, Sanrio.
I'm sorry. I just like
cinnamon roll glitter.
They're lost to me. They're just,
I don't know. And then we got a box lunch one that's going to come out in a Target. So that was weird because I didn't think they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But those are actually the Supreme ones, which is 9,500. So obviously that's essentially a freaking comment at this point. You're just putting a number on it.
And
It's
charging
at
more
box such a
money.
target. Like, oh, cool. The Sanrio one is the Elite, which is 7,500, which again is still pretty high number. Then the top three are like decent piece counts, which the Royalty, which we already talked about how we hate these names. But that's the 3,500 points. Oh no, piece. Sorry, 3,500 piece one, which is the Mumra. And then the legendary is the one from Demon Slayer, which that's 1,200 pieces, and then the Grail is the 750 piece. So obviously that's what's Grail, and that's freaking strawberry shortcake, which is so crazy. But the way this works, so I was looking at some like more information on it, and obviously they talk about how fan rewards is who gets the initial like release.
Yep.
So you have to have the fan rewards. You go through there. It's early access. They even show you how many points you need. So you need 1,200 points to get the legendary. You need 1,700 points to get the Grail. 500 points for the royalty, and then it doesn't show like cut off. It doesn't show the other ones, but it's probably not too much in points to get the other versions. But if it doesn't sell out, then it opens to the public and everyone can go and grab these, which I'm assuming is what's going to happen. I don't know if there's 750 fan rewards people that want that strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, it'll be like burning NFT packs when it goes to the public.
Yeah. And then even when it goes to the public, I don't know if there's still anyone who wants that, because price point wise, that's a $50 pop. Are you going to pay $50 for that? Like, that just doesn't seem like special. Like, even the Demon Slayer one, like you said, that's $40 pop. That one looks cool and makes sense. It's Demon Slayer, you know, it's a pretty big name. The Mumra's 30. That cinnamon roll thing is 20, which is weird. And then the other two, they're probably similar price or whatever. Box and Target.
We talked about this before, and I know some people disagree with us. I've seen videos about it, but like I don't like the price gouging of making it more limited. Like I don't like that, and I stand by that. Like pops have become grails over time based off of the market and the popularity of them. I feel like at this point they should just like make a certain amount of a pop, and people who get it, and then the market, like now to kind of compare this a little bit to VeeFriends, can then determine whether you like it or not because of flippers, yada yada yada, what these pops are worth. Funko is telling you what they think they're worth to begin with these new, like, it's weird. And it's not like it's anything special about it. It's just the amount they're saying they're making.
Yeah. Because, yeah, exactly. What makes a grail a real grail, right, is something that's badass, looks great, people love, everyone wants to get it, and then you can't get it anymore. So when you can't get it anymore, if it's that good of a thing, it's a great pop or character, or people love it the way it looks or whatever, they want it more. So they're willing to pay more. By paying more, that's raising the price. The value's going up. It's more rare, et cetera, and that's what makes it a grail. Not, I have two items. One I'm going to charge you 10. The other one I'm going to charge you 100. But because the one I charge you 100, that's a grail. Like I don't charge you 100 for it, so it has to be a grail, right? Even though the one that's 10 might be way better than the one that's 100. Like it's stupid.
Like what they should have done, and it's just funny. Everything comes back to VeeFriends. The Jolly Jacko Funko Pop, a New York Comic Con limited edition to 1,000 pieces, was a normal price of a Funko Pop. That has now become a grail.
Yeah. It was limited. People wanted it, and now they want to pay more for it.
Yep. Done.
Not because they charge you more for it. That just makes no sense.
It's a grail because it was a sick pop. It's popular. It's based off an IP that's only gaining momentum, and people want it. The FOMO for that was real, even though there was a lot of flippers in that game just because of the piece count. But now it's like it's gonna be weird what happens even with like, I know the secondary market for Funko has completely changed over the course of the past few years, but now it's like I don't even think that's going to exist with these Funko Pops.
No, I don't know, man.
You're going to pay it up front what they thought it would maybe have gone for. Like it's very strange.
Yeah, but their whole little thing. So, welcome to limited edition. Collectors rejoice. The thrill of the chase returns with limited edition collectibles. Like the thrill of the chase. It's not like you're literally just buying it. It makes no sense.
Exactly. It's not like in the thrill of the chase. Dude, you stole that from Thrilljoy, which at least theirs is the thrill of the chase. Like what is going on?
Yeah, and then it says there's highly limited piece counts and authentication stickers to verify your product. Ooh, I think that's why it makes it cool. But there was a bunch of like frequently asked questions, and there's some like interesting ones because obviously one of the big ones was the fan rewards members are the first ones that get dibs, like I said, and then after that it goes but this was funny. They really are giving themselves too much credit. In the rare case that these items don't sell out, can't wait to see how rare that is. During early access, they will be made available to purchase to the public. Then it says there's 8 tiers. So we talked about all those tiers, the ultimate, supreme, all that kind of stuff. You'll have to purchase them through the Funko website with your rewards. That's kind of the way you go after them. A couple other things. But one thing I did want to talk about, which was the only thing that I will give them, like, okay,
Credit
cool,
for.
they're finally doing something that they should have done forever, is there's a question that says, what happens if the collectibles sell out? And the answer is, once our limited edition collectibles are gone, they're gone for good. There won't be any remade or restocked. And this is something that we have had a problem with Funko for years. We have multiple episodes that talk about restocks, the issue with this, remaking things nonstop, them showing up randomly at other places. Like that has been issue after issue for Funko for years. And this way is what it should have always been like. Like, okay, if there's 1,000 of them and you sell 1,000, you never see that again. That's fine. That is what the funny thing is like that would then maybe make that a grail.
100%.
We just don't agree with the price points being there. That might affect it though, because even if the one that said this, let's go straight up to the strawberry shortcake thing. Strawberry shortcake has 750. Let's say all 750 sell out. So now this is a popular pop. 750 of them are gone. You want one? It's a low piece count. Okay, it's a grail. But when there was a $15 pop that became a grail, it was what? At least $100 usually was what made it a grail, right? So you're looking at 15 into 100 is a lot. It's like 8 times, 7 times, whatever it is. If this is price point at 50, is it going to be a $300 grail, like a $400
exactly
grail?
It's just not gonna
or is it still just gonna be $50? It's like no one's gonna want to buy it. I don't know. It's wild.
Their strategy even too, like once again, they should have started this off with like different pops. I also just the hypocrisy of Funko now is just driving me crazy with, I mean, it's been this way for years. And it's just funny. I know Brian will tell you he likes stuff out of the box when he was over there at Funko. Same with Mike. But they realized the market liked them in the box. How they kind of then ran with that. But Funko, now, their customer service to this day, you can get a Funko Pop come in the mail. It's damaged. And they still don't care. It's just a blemish. It's not a big of a deal. But now they're kind of sending these with cases on them, and they're like, I know they're going to say they're appeasing that's what the customer wants, but they're still coming damaged with the case. It's being shoved in the thing wrong. This all started with the tin toy from the con, which has kind of started off this whole thing, and they're just are all over the place with like their product, and the quality's just gone down. Like it's just yeah, I'm being a Debbie Downer because once again, like
At the end of the day, it's not good.
and I
It's
just
not a
never
good.
thought this would happen for me personally for Funko. There's other companies that are just too new, like Thrilljoy. Even though I was loving it in the beginning, the fact if I ultimately didn't like it or liked it again, like it's a new company. I've been like a diehard Funko fan, as everyone knows, for so long. I like ride or die with this company, but now it's just like I can't do it anymore. Hopefully, once again, and I feel like I say this every other episode, it will work. It'll change. This is like the growing pains again. But some of the things they're doing, like I feel like they're also with this whole thing is like kind of tricky. They're pretending that they're doing what some of the fans want, but it's also just a way to get more money out of them. Which I know they're a business, but like they're disguising what like the Rokimoto fun makers would just do for their fans. They're just disguising it behind a way to make more money. It's just yeah.
Oh man, let us know. Please let us know down below. Comment if you haven't already liked the video. Hopefully you have. If you stuck around for this hour and you've been here, appreciate you guys. If you stuck around to the end, yeah, we do appreciate all of you guys. But definitely let us know. We had a lot of great topics on below.
Yes.
Are you VeeFriends fans? If you are, let us know what you guys think about that. The Rokimoto news and how we talked about how what they're doing things the right way. The Thrilljoy stuff, definitely. I know we have a lot of people out there that do listen to us that are Thrilljoy fans. So let us know your input. We would love to hear that. And this whole stuff with the Funko, like with what's going on. This is just, I don't know. We bring it up because we like to talk about it. It's what's going on. And now we give our input and we let you guys know what we feel, but we want to know kind of what you guys feel. You guys can totally be against us in our opinion. Feel free to voice it and we'll have a good chat about it. But that's going to be it for this episode. It was a good one.
It was a good one.
A lot of stuff. Very exciting stuff.
Hit all of our main companies.
Yeah, exactly. Those are kind of the main ones
VeeFriends
that we are
entered
really
that
into
echelon of main company.
They are, and now with new stuff coming out like this Topps Chrome is going to be even more in the forefront for us. But yeah, that'll be it for the episode. Charlie will let you know a little bit about where to follow us, all the good stuff as well, and keep moving from there.
Yeah. So as always, you can follow us at Collector Chatter on Instagram, and then at Collector_Migs, which when I keep posting stuff on Instagram and I go to collaborate, I start typing in pops. I'm like, oh, that's not it anymore. And so don't forget, everyone, it is
Collector.
At Collector_Migs, and then obviously at Collector_Charlie. And if you're listening on the podcast platforms, thank you so much for supporting us over there. Make sure you leave us a review, interact with our questions that we have on the Spotify episodes, and then obviously come over to the YouTube channel. And if you're already here, we appreciate you being here, and make sure you, like Mick said, like this video, shoot us a comment, let us know what you're thinking about all of these companies, what you're collecting. And once again, like, is there any other new things? Like, I know I feel like big company that is now going to be talked about a lot on this podcast as well as Pop Mart, but we didn't really have much to talk about on this episode. But let us know if there's anything else that you guys have been into, because I feel like the collecting world is evolving within the Funko community. Yeah, and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. But with that being said, as always, we appreciate it. Collecting is the way. Until the next episode, later.
Peace out, everybody.